What's up, my kings and queens? Welcome back to another video. I am so happy to see you again. For those of you who don't know me, my name is YK Maharaj, and I'm here to help people become the best possible version of themselves. And I do that by teaching self-improvement and teaching young individuals how to be disciplined people in the world today. So without further ado, I'm going to be taking you through today the real reason that my first business failed. And I'm going to go into depth with it so that I can tell you exactly why it failed. And it didn't fail because of the business model, it failed because of me, because of the effort I put into it. So without further ado, let's go right into it. So why did my first business fail? So just to give you guys some context, by the way, my first business that I ever started was in 2024. I was turning 17 that year, and it was a social media marketing agency. Now, I'm sure you've heard many people speak about it if you're the type of person that goes online listening about ways to make money, right? So I started my own social media marketing agency, and what I was doing is I was going to run Facebook and Instagram ads for businesses in order to generate leads for them. Now, the reason that my business failed is the first thing that I noted is that I didn't have self-belief. And in order to make anything work in life, regardless of whatever it is, you need to have self-belief. I got the physique I want because I believed I could get it as long as I put in the work, I believed I could get it, right? I believe with my content that I will make it, which is why I am now on 298 subscribers. I'm on like 568 on Instagram followers, 526 on TikTok followers, but it looks like TikTok and YouTube is gonna pass my Instagram soon. Anyways, as I was saying, I have belief that I can make it work for my content. I have belief that I could make it, I could get the physique I want in the gym. Now, the same thing applies with the business. You have to genuinely believe in yourself. You have to genuinely believe that you have what it takes, that you trust yourself enough to get the shit done, to pay your expenses, whatever it is. So I didn't have self-belief, and I didn't truly believe in my heart that I could make it with that business, right? And that is the biggest problem ever. Because when you take sales meetings, so let me explain the structure of how this business works. I need to go and gather businesses' emails or phone numbers. Then I need to contact those businesses either via cold emails or cold calls. I have to call them, right? Then from there, I need to book a meeting with them. Once I've booked a meeting with them, I have to now sit in a meeting, explain. I have to first obviously find out information about the business and make sure it's the type of business that I can run ads for. Then I need to find out more information about the business, and once I've done that, I explain my service to them and how I think and how I know that I'm going to help them. And then we decide upon ad spend, and we decide upon service fee, and then we come to a total amount, and then they have to sign the contract and pay, right? Now, I had about 8 of those meetings in that year, and I didn't sign a single client. I got very close to signing a couple of people. Like, I even made the whole contract and everything. They just didn't sign it and didn't pay. Like, I didn't get that far with them. I wasn't able to close them. My point in saying this is that if you don't believe in yourself, when you sit in that meeting with the prospects and you're explaining to them what you do and you're trying to get them to buy from you and believe in your business, if you don't believe in yourself, why the hell would they believe in you, right? The prospects can feel if you don't believe in yourself. They can feel the self-doubt, right? It's like how Andrew Tate said it. I think Andrew Tate said it, I don't remember. But there is a saying where they say energy is contagious, right? Whether it's negative or positive. So the same way, when you don't believe in yourself, they can feel that you don't believe in yourself, that you have doubt in your mind. You understand? Your eyes don't lie. If you have self-doubt, they can sense it. That is my point to you about that one. The next point that I have about why my business failed is that I didn't work as hard as I should have to make it. And I know for a fact that if I went harder, I could have made it. And now, what do I mean by went harder? If I went and I did more, in fact, I wasn't even doing cold emails. I was only doing cold calls, right? I was reaching out within my country. If I went and did emails on top of that to learn about cold emails, to figure out how cold emails work, right? Plus I did cold calls, right? So I was only doing cold calls at the time. If I did emails, I did cold calls. I revised my emails. I revised my cold calls. Then I revised my meetings that I had, and I went and I watched them and learned what I did wrong, seeing where I could have improved. If I went and then looked at, okay, what about the guys that I made a contract for? Why did they believe in me in the meeting and then not sign the deal? Why did they not continue with it? What made them back out, right? If I went and improved every single step of it, I could have made it, right? It's inevitable for me to make it, right? Now, the problem is that I know I didn't work as hard. In fact, I didn't even have a complete understanding of how to do Facebook and Instagram ads, but I was outreaching to businesses trying to sell them this. How can I sell something to someone when I don't even believe in myself that I fully know how to do something? You understand? So because I didn't fully understand my service, I just jumped straight into business and I didn't learn everything. I figured, you know what, I'd learn it as I go. Once I got the clients, I'd go figure out how exactly everything needs to work. But because I didn't know how it worked, I had self-doubt in my mind and I didn't truly believe in myself. And now these prospects can sense it in the meeting. By the way, guys, if you guys haven't already, please make sure you smash that like button and make sure to subscribe. If you guys know anyone that you think would benefit from having this information or knowing these things that I'm speaking about, please make sure you send them this video. If you guys think there's anything I left out or there's something you want to hear me speak about specifically, please make sure you include it in the comments so that I can go and create a video for you, or I can just go and answer you. The next thing that I have is that I wasn't doing what was necessary. So as I just said, I wasn't adjusting my cold call scripts, right? I wasn't adjusting my sales meeting. I wouldn't review my mistakes and learn from them. Like, sure, I would go over, like, yes, I would rewatch my meetings to go take some notes on what the guy said that I might have missed during the meeting, you know, because it's a bit hard to take notes during a meeting. Like, you can only take, what's the word called? Like crib notes, I guess. Like, you can put a word there to try and remember what they were saying, so you remember what you actually want to write. But you know what, life is easier nowadays. We can record our Zoom or Google Meet meeting, so I would go back and rewatch it and then write down the notes that I missed out. But I wasn't fully looking at what I did wrong, what I could have done better, or what scared this guy, how did he react based on something I said. I should have looked at those things, you understand, and I wasn't doing it. The next thing that I have to say about why my first business failed is that I let the no's in my meetings get to my head, and it's knocked me down. Now, why do I say that I let the no's get to my head? Remember I told you that I had a couple of meetings where I drew up a contract for them, but they didn't sign. So I got right to the edge of landing my first client, but didn't go through with it. My last meeting, so I said I had 8. The 8th meeting, I drew up a contract of 5,000 Rand a month for me. That was my service fee alone. But the guy backed out. I made the contract, we agreed upon it on the meeting and everything, but he backed out. He came and told me that his accountant said he doesn't have the financials for it right now. Something about that, whatever, right? So this was like this was just over a year ago now. So, but the problem that came with that is that I let that no get to my head. I let that no knock me down. That no broke my heart. But if I just didn't stop and continued going, by now I could have been as successful as I wanted to be. But because I let that no get to my head and I started overthinking and I didn't believe that I could do it, I failed, right? At the end of 2024, I had stopped working on my business. My friend told me he wants to try copywriting, so I started doing copywriting with my friend. And that's what I did throughout 2025. So that's how my business failed. I stopped, right? And that was the biggest mistake I think I ever made. You can't go just a year and expect it to work out. Businesses are measured on years, not months. You have to work for at least 2 to 3 years before you decide, okay, this business is not working, let's move on. And in those 2 to 3 months, you have to go and do everything I just said that I didn't do. So if I went and did my business for 2025 as well, and it didn't work out, I can't blame the business model because people are actually still making money from it to this day. People with new social media marketing agencies are still signing clients to this day, right? So if I went another year and didn't make money, I wouldn't be able to blame the business. So when I say go 2 to 3 years, make sure in those 2 to 3 years that you're doing absolutely everything you need to do and everything that you can do. Because if you don't do these things, you cannot expect to make it to where you want to get. Do you understand that? right? I couldn't expect to get to where I wanted to get, but I wasn't improving my cold calls. I wasn't improving my sales meeting. I wasn't improving the sales process from the meeting to signing the contract. I wasn't trying to improve every aspect of my business to ensure the best success or the best closing rate of my clients. The next thing that I have for you is that by the end of the first year, I decided to stop, as I just mentioned, right? And I regret it ever since, because like I said, businesses aren't measured on months, they are measured on years, right? Decades, bro. Okay, maybe not always decades, but years in general. When you start a business, this isn't a short-term thing. Businesses are long-term things. They run for at least 10 years before they close down, right? If I started a business, I'd have to run it for at least 5 to 10 years before I think about even selling it, right? So I absolutely regretted quitting my business because I had 8 meetings. For all I know, I could have been 1 or 2 more meetings away from my first client. But because I stopped, I'll never know, right? So like I said, I regret it ever since for quitting at the end of that year. Now, the last thing that I think played a reason to my business failure, and I'm not putting the blame on it. I know everything comes down to me and it's all my fault at the end of the day, but I'm letting you know that this played a role. So at some point, now keep in mind, when I started this business, I was still in school. I was only 17 at the time, right? So it was my second last year of school, and that's not even uni, this is high school or secondary school, right? I decided that, you know what, I'm gonna try and do as much cold calls as I can. I'm gonna try and do 50 a day or 100 a day. Like, that was for holiday times, but 50 a day or so while I was still in school. And I told my dad this. I was like, yo, yeah, I think I'm gonna turn things up a notch. I'm gonna start doing 50 calls a day or 100 calls a day. I'm gonna try and max out my stuff. And my father told me, he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You sound like you're obsessed. And that broke my heart. It genuinely broke my heart. It discouraged me so much that I think I didn't even end up doing it. But looking back at it in retrospect, I understand that there are businesses out there, exact same business model as me, doing hundreds and thousands of cold calls a day. It is completely natural for a business to do cold emails, to do 100 cold emails or 1,000 cold emails, to do 100 or 1,000 cold calls, as long as you've got the labor to back it up, right? So in my mind, I'm like, you know what? First of all, I'm competing with other businesses that are established and actually doing 100 to 500 to 1,000 calls a day. I can't be doing 10 or 20 calls a day only. I have to turn it up a notch. And my father told me I sounded obsessed. And I let it get to my head, right? But I realized everyone who has achieved something great in their life was obsessed with it at some point. You think Kobe Bryant got to where he is because he wasn't obsessed? He was obsessed, bro. He trained 3 times a day so that no one could catch up to him. That's the point of business as well. You need to move so quick that people can't catch up to you. That's what makes the difference from like businesses that do 1 million to 10 million. Urgency, right? So I'm getting a bit derailed from the point, but my father said I sounded obsessed for wanting to do 50 to 100 calls. My lesson to you in this is don't ever let what your parents say discourage you. I knew that was right, that was what I should have done. He didn't think so, but he wasn't the one trying to run the business. He didn't fully understand how the business operates and how things had to go. So fuck that. Don't let what your parents say get to your head. Even to this day, I think my parents don't believe in me. I told my parents, so I started that social media marketing agency again now at the end of 2025. I had the domain and website set up. Beginning of 2026, now the 5th of January, I started outreaching again because I know I can make it work this time. I know what to expect and what to prepare for. Now, I was talking to my dad. This is a side note, by the way, guys. So I was talking to my dad, and he wants me to go study at uni this year. Now I'm going to go study, become marketing management because I'm doing marketing, right? I don't believe uni is going to get me where I need to be, but that's besides the point. My father said something, and it stood out to me because that's when I realized he doesn't truly believe in me. He told me, wealth like that comes once in a generation. Now, I don't know what type of wealth he's talking about. I don't even know if he knows how far I'm trying to go. So I go around saying I want 10 kids, and my father actually came and told me, he's like, please don't go around telling people you want 10 kids, you'll embarrass yourself, because that's not the normal in today's society, right? Fuck that shit. I will have 10 kids some way or another. So my father said, wealth like that comes once in a generation. And when he said that, it occurred to me, this man doesn't actually think I can get to where I want to be. Sure, he's my father, he wants me to do better than him. Sure, he's my father, he doesn't want me to make the same mistakes he made in life. But that doesn't mean he should impose his own self-limiting beliefs on me, right? So when he said that, I realized that this man doesn't actually believe that I can get to the point that I'm actually trying to get to. And it did break my heart, and it actually sucks knowing that my parents don't believe in me. I mean, to some degree they do, but to reach the points of success that I want to reach, I don't think they believe in me. Like, I think I want generational wealth, bro. Generational wealth. That means I'm making money while I'm sleeping even. You understand? I don't think they believe that I can get to that point, but fuck that shit. My point in saying all of this is, do not let other people's self-limiting beliefs affect you. Do not let them impose their own self-limiting beliefs on you, because that is the one thing. Listen, at the start, you know how they say you have no one supports you, but once you're big and everyone's and you're recognized, then everyone wants to clap for you, but that's when the applause matters the least. At the start, no one's going to believe in you. So if you don't believe in yourself, no one's going to do it for you. So do not let other people's self-limiting beliefs affect you. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure you smash that like button, make sure to subscribe. If you know anyone that will benefit from this information, anyone that you think needs to hear these type of things, someone that might be going into business, even if it's a content creator, even if they're doing copywriting, e-commerce, whatever it is, there is definitely a valuable lesson inside this video for anyone. As always, guys, if there was anything you think I missed out, please leave it in the comments. If there's anything you want me to speak about, leave it in the comments. I'll reply to your comments, well, provided I'm not fucking huge. But right now I'm only on 298 subscribers. My comments aren't that packed, so I'll reply as long as I see the comments. So if you think I left out anything, put it in the comments. If you want me to speak about something, put it in the comments. And yeah, as always, guys, I'm rooting for you and I'm watching from afar. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it.